a dire Chiefs and Cyclones fan, and the Chiefs have a criminal back on the roster. My name is AJ Caldwell. Welcome back to Cyclone Kingdom. Here we go again. Rashee Rice has been released from jail today. And he's going to be back with the Kansas City Chiefs, even though the last thing the guy needs right now is to be focusing on the game of football. I've said it before, I'll say it again. Rashee Rice, if he was not an NFL player, would be in prison for a lot longer right now. Him being a professional athlete allows him the opportunity to be on probation. And then he broke that probation. Blatantly. Knowing the consequences. And got 30 days in jail. This dude is getting let off the hook time and time and time and time again. So what am I supposed to do with it? I'm supposed to welcome Rashee Rice back with Chiefs merch on and Chiefs gear on as a Kansas City Chiefs diehard sports fan and welcome him back and say, come play football? Really? Furthermore, I'm supposed to trust Rashee Rice to be a competent human being, a competent wide receiver for my football team? The amount of Chiefs accounts, some I respect, that are saying, oh yeah, he's going to have 1,100 yards this year and 10 touchdowns. He might not survive. He might not survive the season because he's a numbnut. He has no clue how to think straight. He's leaving jail today smiling and laughing. I'm supposed to trust this guy to stay on a football field? He might not survive the season legally or mentally. I don't care what he did his rookie season. In fact, I would go further and say Brett Veach and Andy Reid should have steered clear of Rashee Rice as soon as the car crash happened. I get it's the NFL. I get it's a business. I get all of that. But at some point in time, you got to draw a line in the sand, man. And you got to realize we got to cut our ties and move on and move forward. Tyreek Hill might be coming back to the Chiefs soon. Is that not good enough for us? We got to invite back a criminal because he's a good, talented wide receiver? Baloney! It's hogwash, dude. If we actually think that we need to have him on our team because he's talented, and we'll just hope he stays out of trouble, insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. And the Chiefs, for the third straight time now, are expecting a different result from Rashee Rice. How do you think it's going to go? And guys, he might survive the year. He might even have a great season. You know what I'm going to say? In January, if Rashee Rice has 1,100 yards and 11 touchdowns, he still shouldn't have played football this year. Because I believe as a Christian, godly man, that you have to proclaim the truth to yourself. And when you break the law and you lie and you do all these different things, that you have consequences. And the amount of people responding to me on social media saying, AJ, the Kareem Hunt situation and the Rashee Rice situation are different. Are they? Are they different? Because all I know is Kareem Hunt lied about hitting a woman and kicking a woman and got kicked off the team the next week. Rashee Rice literally almost killed multiple people. He literally almost killed multiple people on a highway in Texas going 119 miles per hour and fled the scene of the crime. That's called a hit and run. That's called a hit and run. And he got let off the hook with probation. Okay, learned his lesson, got let off the hook, got shown grace. And then he breaks that probation. The smoking weed is not the issue. We talked about that. Smoking weed is not the issue. You're entitled to it. Just be responsible with it. I think as a Christian, you shouldn't be even touching drugs like that. So I get all of that. But the fact that you are supposed to stay out of trouble, dude. You're supposed to steer clear, keep your head down, keep your nose clean, and get ready for mandatory minicamp. And you were just like, you know what? I can't do that because I want to have fun in New Orleans. And I want to set a bad example for Cyrus Allen. Cyrus, steer clear of this dude. As soon as he enters the building, steer clear of him. Stay out of trouble with him. I am sick and tired of Chiefs wide receivers getting in trouble. And Chiefs people getting in trouble. I'm tired of it. I know this isn't an immune thing in the NFL. I know other teams go through this, but the amount of times it happens to the Chiefs, we're becoming a punchline. We're becoming a punchline. Guys, I need you to think critically as a Chiefs fan. If you honestly think that you are going to the season saying, we can't go anywhere if Rashee Rice isn't good, I want you to hear to yourself you saying that sentence out loud and think about what the implications are of that. If Rashee Rice isn't good, we will have a bad season. Guys, Rashee Rice hasn't been good for a while, and I'm not talking about as a football player. Him as a football player is the last thing on my mind right now. And I've said it before, and I will say it again. Rashee Rice needs Christ more than he needs a touchdown right now. He needs his life transformed by the gospel more than he needs 100 catches. That's what Rashee Rice needs. He doesn't need to be ready for training camp. He needs to have his heart right before the Lord because he is on a wayward path right now. And I'm not saying the rest of the Chiefs players aren't. I think there's a lot of Chiefs players that are lost, that need Christ. But Rashee Rice is the one that's in the spotlight right now. And Rashee Rice is the one who has committed crimes. He's a criminal. Breaking your probation is a crime. That's why you're in a jail cell. And because it was just breaking probation, it's not something the league will intervene with, and it's not something that Andy Reid apparently cares about. We're moving on and moving forward, in his words. Guys, I'm excited for Xavier Worthy. I'm excited for Tyquan Thornton. I'm excited for Cyrus Allen even to get his chance. You know who I could not care less about as a football player right now? Rashee Rice. Couldn't care less. Oh, you're going to change your mind once he has 4 touchdowns in a game against the Bills where you guys win. No, I'll actually be kind of cringing that our best receiver and our best option is a guy who's a criminal. Smoking weed is not a crime. That's not the crime I'm talking about. That's not the crime I'm talking about. I'm talking about breaking your probation when you were told to keep your nose clean and you had to end up in a jail cell because you broke it. It's a definition of a crime. So Rashee Rice is going to be at training camp. He's going to be a part of the Chiefs this season. But the amount of Chiefs people that I am just sick of, and guys that I respect, I'm not going to name any names, but guys that I respect, going out on social media and on their YouTube channels and saying, Rashee Rice is going to have a great year. He's going to have an awesome 2026. He's going to have this many yards and this many touchdowns and blah, 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 blah. You're talking about Xavier Worthy, I'm on board. You're talking about Tyquan Thornton, let's go. You're talking about Kenneth Walker, let's rock. If you're talking about Rashee Rice having a great year, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to turn the other way. Because I'm supposed to listen to somebody talking about a guy that should still be in jail and would be in jail for a long time and someone died from that car crash? Oh, well, no one died from the car crash. And that's why he still should be playing football? Really? Because no one died in a car crash? Because he barely escaped? Like, woo, that was close. All right, don't do it again. He was driving over 100 miles per hour and could have killed somebody. I'll bring up this example. Henry Ruggs. You guys remember that name? Alabama wide receiver. Got drafted by the Raiders in the first round, second round. All-world talent. Was going to be awesome for the Raiders. Was going to help them kind of get back in contention for the playoffs. And he killed a woman and her dog in Las Vegas, going the similar speed to Rashee Rice. A similar speed. Guys, he has just been denied parole and is still in jail. You know who'd be in a worse situation than him if he had killed somebody is Rashee Rice. Think about that for a second. The guy who is going to be ready for training camp on the Kansas City Chiefs in late July, where everyone's going to be cheering and applauding, oh, I hope he's learned his lesson, would be in jail for a more severe crime than Henry Ruggs if someone had died from his car crash in Texas. Oh, you're saying if this, if that. You seriously want to play that game? You seriously want to play that game before a holy God and before a watching world and a society that claims crimes as illegal and as wrong, and that people who commit crimes are despicable people that are in a dark place. Rashee Rice isn't. Rashee Rice doesn't fit in that category because he only spent 30 days and he didn't actually kill anybody, so we can play the what ifs all we want. That is a rough spot to be in if you're a Chiefs fan. So if you are a Chiefs fan still defending Rashee Rice, turn to Christ and live. If you are a Chiefs fan who is excited about Rashee Rice's year coming up, turn to Christ and live. And if you are a Chiefs fan that is expecting Rashee Rice to compete the whole year because when he's healthy, he's good, you are sorely, sorely mistaken. Leave your comments down below about what you think about Rashee Rice, about what you think he really needs. Should he be playing football? Should he not be playing football? Should the Chiefs still have him on their team? Leave your comments down below. Stay locked in and like and subscribe for all Chiefs and Cyclones content. And as always, roll clones. And how about those Chiefs?